New Artist Spotlight Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the New Artist Spotlight. I am Wilko Wilkes.
And I'm Big OG, you know me, the GROT, the growth of the New Artist Spotlight Podcast. Now, if you've ever watched anything that we've done, you know we're here to interview some of the best and brightest artists of the New Artist Spotlight playlist. Your plug to the best independent music around the globe.
And you can find all of that, plus news, reviews, tips, all sorts on newartistspotlight.org. All the playlists are on there. Loads of good tunes that you can discover on there, including tunes from the man that we're going to meet today. Looking forward to this. A maker of bangers. Welcome to the show, Srv-musicmaker.
Hi. Thank you.
How are you doing, mate?
Good to have you on.
Are you well?
Good, man. Thanks.
So, for anyone who hasn't heard much about SRV, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your music, your sound, and how you became a recording artist?
Yeah, I'm an electronic musician from India, and from Kolkata, India to be specific. And I make various subgenres of electronic music, like house, trance, dance music. And I started making music almost a decade back, but that was not serious back then. It was just a hobby like that. But in late 2020, I started back again under the same name, Srv-musicmaker, and seriously releasing some musics, and 4 tracks so far. I hope to release more soon. As far as how I started, around 2009 or 10, I got I used to play in metal bands, and I used to play the guitar, and I used to sing and do all that. But sometimes I'd just get really tired of listening to all that hard stuff, right? And then I'd turn to dance music and pop music, and I'd listen to that. And I like it, and especially, and going back to my childhood too, there was in the late 90s, early 2000s, there were a lot of all this stuff on TV. I guess you know the song Sandstorm by Daru, right?
Yeah.
And that's and there are many other songs like that, And so Paul Van Dyke, Tiesto, Daru, Sash, there was a lot of stuff. And it always intrigued me, I got really into rock music, and I picked up the guitar, and I sang and I used to be a part of 2 bands, and we toured and went to competitions and stuff like that. And it was great. I loved being on stage. But a part of me always liked dance music, and so around 2011, 12, I gave it a try. And the reception was, to be honest, it was good back then, because although the fan base was not that big, I could reach some people around the world, and they did encourage me. And at that stage, it's about getting advice from people and feedback, right? What are you doing? What are you doing right? What are you doing wrong? And so that was that. And through the last decade, through the last few years, I made a little bit here and there, and getting into a career around 2014 and all that, it music took a backseat. I was still doing the rock stuff, the metal stuff, I was still doing that. But from 2015 to 20, it was a very busy and a different kind of phase in life. So after that, I decided to jump back in, and I'm glad that I did. So.
Yeah, that's good, man. And I'm interested as well, you're saying about how it's more than a hobby now. And I love your 4 tracks on Spotify, they're all class. Especially enjoy Oceano de Passion, and love Can't Control as well. So I want more SRV tracks coming out. And of course, a special mention as well with Will Joy. You got me hypnotized.
Yeah, he was fantastic on that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He does it a lot better than I do. But yeah, I'm interested, how seriously are you taking it? Is this a future career for you? Is this what's the dream?
The seriousness aspect of it, it's not oh, I want to make it big. I want to sell out arenas. It's not like that. It's nothing like that. See, that aspect of it is just, me making something and me being serious about being creative and not casual, and making something that can, if it's 3 minutes, 4 minutes of something that can add to someone's life. Like 4 minutes, someone listens to my song and, they feel a certain emotion that's happy, sad, sentimental. And I could make those 4 minutes of their life in a given day better. And that's the goal, it's not about
man. That's beautiful, man.
Social media. It's pretty easy to get followers now. There are tricks and basically.
I've noticed you've been doing quite a bit of that, actually. I've noticed you've been doing like tutorials and stuff. Like, how's that going?
Yeah, I do that. I do that sometimes, and not been very active recently because I've been like super busy with my day job and working on a new track too. That's actually going to be have different versions of one track, so 3 different versions. So there's a lot of work, and I have to record my own vocals on this one. So it's taking some time, some trial and error.
Oh, good, mate. Look forward to hearing that.
So tell us a little bit about your experience here at NAS.
Well, New Artist Spotlight, it's actually very interesting how I came to be a part of it. Back in, I think, February or March last year, Motion Sickness, he approached me on Facebook. He's like, there's a playlisting opportunity and it's a community of artists and all that. And I was a little skeptical, to be honest, at first. Like, what is this? Like, I haven't seen anything like that. I'm just 1 month into making music. I've released 1 song and here comes someone saying something like this. Right. But then I decided to look into it and I'm glad that I did. And it's interesting. This is the first time I actually used Discord. I was never on Discord before that. Like, I've heard about Discord. Yeah, I've heard about Discord, but, I've never been a part of it. Okay, let's try, let's see. And when I talked to Ilian and Ed, and I got some confidence about it and I got into it. And, since then, it's New Artist Spotlight, I think it's very unique for independent musicians around the world, because, it's like, it opens up so many possibilities and it gives you the platform to network with so many other talented musicians, many of whom have been doing it for more than a decade, seriously, right? So, and, there's a level playing ground. It's not like, oh, you're a new musician, so, you better get used to the hierarchy or something like that. It's not like that. It's a community where everyone feels involved, everyone feels welcomed. You can share your music, you can network with others, collaborate with others. Like, I found Will Joy on New Artist Spotlight, right? So, and, you just basically support each other. And what I like about it is people do it willingly. It's not like no one's forcing you to do anything. We're not in it for any kind of gain. No one's in it for any kind of monetary gain directly. But, it's like, it's out of curiosity for discovering new artists and new music and artists in your own genre, artists outside of your genre. So, and the community is like, it's really cohesive, and that's the great part of it. And
yeah, man, I think it's inspiring. I think it's like it's just amazing seeing all the talent on there and Origin Cross.
Yeah.
You gotta put me in my own category, right? Because I'm just that much better than so many other artists.
Yeah, no, there's some amazing stuff on there, and like you say, it takes you out of your genres and puts you in touch with people and cultures that you've never seen before.
Who would have thought? Like when I started, like in late 2020, and the first release in late January 2021, like who would have thought? Like I'd be like even such a community exists. Like I had no idea. Like all I know are people asking for money online. I'm gonna make an Instagram post or a Facebook post, and you pay me $20 or $50, and maybe you'll get something out of it. And so many emerging artists who are just coming out with the first single or the second single fall prey to those, and they just and for something like this, for the biggest advantage is like New Artist Spotlight is completely free. Like it doesn't require anything from you, and in that regard, and just your participation and to be the part of the community and to contribute. I think it's fantastic. Like this is a dream. This is but it's reality, and like independent artists who join get so many opportunities. It's fantastic. It's not just about the playlists. It's about the social media, the blogs, the radio, all the opportunities that Ed has done a fantastic job with it. And the mod team, everybody just works so hard. It's fantastic.
Yeah, man, it's great.
And where else can you go and get your music played live on radio, voted on by your peers?
Exactly.
I know. You actually just get to know each other's music so well. Yeah. It's class. So we're going to, speaking of which, we're going to play Can't Control by you today. It's a track I've enjoyed for a long time, but do you want to tell us a bit about the track? And I'm interested, because most of your tracks are instrumental so far. Do you still think of stories behind the songs, and do they still come from certain places, and what do they mean to you? And specifically, what does Can't Control mean to you?
Can't Control is actually it's a very old school trance kind of song. If you remember the sound of the late 90s, 99, Y2K, that kind of the rave scene and the glow sticks and the trance and all that, the music, the club music back then. Trance was mainstream, old school trance and techno and all that, acid bass and stuff like that. So it's kind of a throwback to that from the sound and the production quality, the type of production too. And this is just basically the concept behind is it's a Vocaloid or a robot who's singing this. And what's interesting is it's not even a real singer. It's just it's a text to singing software that I was just trying out one day, and I just put the lyrics in there, and it came out nice. And I said, how do I build a track around it? What am I going to do? Am I going to make it like a house track it's relaxed? And then I thought, no, it has to be something intense. This one has to be intense. So 140 BPM, the trance tempo, and but a groovy bass line, and by the end of it, you're just dancing, hands in the air. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I don't believe in the trend of drops, 2 or 3 drops in a song. There's this lingo that's oh, did you listen to the drop? Wait for the drop. Wait for the. I don't compose like that. I just go with the flow and where it will take me, and I like it. As a listener too. Something like this I listened to back in the day, and I think it's 140 BPM and just straight ahead. It's full on trance. It's pretty cool. So that was the mission.
It's interesting you mentioned 140 BPM, because I feel like a lot of rap songs are right around that range. And so a lot of rappers are really comfortable in that range, except Wilko, you just can't keep up. But yeah, I just think that's a really strong, really solid tempo. And just that kind of up tempo vibe, really gets the energy going, you were saying,
Yeah, 4 on the floor, 140 BPM. Some people think it's too fast. They're slowing the tempos down.
Yeah, Wilko.
125. That's funny.
It's not a competition, Origin. I like
a competition.
Personally, I like my beats at around 110. sort of
Yeah, I know
100
you 80,
to 110.
90
Like,
BPM or
yeah,
something
they're
like
good,
that.
man. Yeah, but then you can go
Nice slow.
go between the bars. It's good, man. It gives you more options.
140 is frantic for some people, and it has to be frantic. That's the thing
Yeah.
I'm trying to convey. There's this kind of sense of urgency. Like
Yeah.
even though the bass line is groovy, it's got a distinct groove, but it's 140, so it's like really fast, and it's supposed to be fast. Like
I think your music, SIV, is like running music. That's what I have it. It's like gym music. And I love a load of stuff like that, Darude and all that kind of era.
Yeah,
I like a bit of Scooter as well. Do you like Scooter?
Yeah, I like.
Yeah, I love a bit of Scooter. I've got them on my running playlist. I've got a bit of SRV on my running playlist, and I like it because it mixes it up as well. You don't keep it the same. You've got like different sections to your songs, and that's what I was kind of wondering, whether it just comes as you go along or whether it's like mapped out from the start. But I think you've definitely got an ear for it anyway. Have you got a lot of tracks lined up, or are you just releasing them one at a time? Like
I'm constantly making tracks, but I have to select eventually, like which is going to be my next song, right? So if I take that decision and then I work on something, the other, others are just stems that I can go back to later on and just work on them. But usually it just starts with sometimes I'm experimenting, like Can't Control. I was playing with a text to singing software, and then I built the track.
That was a text to singing software, right? So is Will Joy your only like collab with like another artist?
Yeah, it's my first collab with a real vocalist.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah. And basically it starts with a melody idea for me. Like Oceano I was actually listening to some 70s, some 80s Italo disco, right? So I like that kind of stuff, the cheesy synth lines. So I was listening to something, and I really liked the vibe. And I was actually just going to like the end part of Oceano. There's like this melody that it ends with. I was supposed to start with that, but when I put that into the workflow, I thought like, okay, this is not strong enough. Like this is not intense or strong enough. So I have to build something. So it's intuitive. I kind of chop and change based on what I'm feeling. And tomorrow morning I might come back and say, no, this is not going in the right direction. I need to do something different. And maybe I change the tempo, maybe I change the bass line. So it's a lot of experimentation like that. And when it was initially going to be a house song, but then, the melodies of it, are synthwave. So, it's basically a hybrid of a house and synthwave. So, but if you take the big picture of Oceano, it's like a symphony, start to finish, like swirling melodies, counter melodies, and then going into melodies, changing the mode, melodies. So it just goes on continuously.
Any melodies?
It's like a journey. What?
I said, any melodies in there? It's just because you said melodies about 4 times. It was badly timed, much like all my efforts this week.
You say counter melody, right? A counter melody is a thing. I don't think a lot of artists who don't have music theory knowledge, I don't think they're kind of aware of what it is and like how powerful of a tool it is. Could you give like a quick description of what a counter melody is and why you have it in music?
Counter melody is like, for example, like when I used to be in bands playing guitar, right? So the lead guitarist is playing something, an interlude, and I'm playing a harmony of it, or I'm closing out the bar with something when he's holding a note or something. Like, practically speaking, for Oceano, it's like there's a melody going on and on and on. And towards the end of the bar, there's a swirling melody that's just cascading down. And in between that, there's another one that catches a middle note and just cascades down back into the main melody. So it's kind of like that to keep it continuous, so that there is like continuous, like you're running, Like, it's like that. So there's no halt. There's no like, oh, it's the same thing over and over again, or there's a halt. It's because it's a swirling kind of melody, and it goes on and on and on, and it loops on. And counter melodies, I think, are very important in, emphasizing the emotion of songs, right? And like, it can be a mode change, it can be slightly something exotic, and you put that into the main melody, whether at the end of it or somewhere else, and you create something interesting. It's pleasing to the ear, So I think I think a lot of trap producers music. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, mate. So it is pleasing to the ear. You're right, and something else that's pleasing to the ear is Can't Control. So let's have a listen to it. Do you want to do the honors of introducing it?
Sure. Hey guys, listen to my single Can't Control right now. Enjoy.
Baby, when I see you
Man, thank you for letting us play that. Awesome. So tell us, do you have anything mapped out for the future or not for the future, just like when you start your songs? And I know you spoke a little bit about it. Like, do you ever go into a song kind of with a plan, like this is what I want to make? Or do you ever have to, is it always just kind of starting and seeing where you end up?
I like making short loops. Okay, so if I make a 4-bar melody or something, I like laying down the bass and the drums and maybe another melody or chords with it, and just loop it and play it and see how it feels to me. And if it feels good, okay, this is something, this has potential, and I can work from there, and sometimes it's not that case, and sometimes that's the case. And if I like something, if I feel it, if I vibe with it, and I am constantly like dissociating in a way that like I put myself outside, like as a listener. I'm coming to a piece of music I made as a listener, as a neutral. Would I like listening to this? Right? And as a listener, if I can vibe with it, yeah, okay, maybe it has potential and I'll work on it. And there might be 2-3 compositions like that. And I take the strongest one, which I feel the best about, and I go about it. And, building an arrangement, it's actually one of the things that I do the last. I just like to put different layers, stack layers upon each other and see how it goes. Like, okay, how would it sound with this, with the chords? Okay, now the chords and the beat and the bass line is playing. How would this counter melody sound? Oh, can I add some guitar? Can I add this? Maybe not everything together. Maybe, but this can progress and then the guitar can come in and something like that. So that's kind of, it's a little bit random. It's a little bit dynamic. That's my process. It's not like that static. And I am not a subscriber to the thinking that, you can't mix while you arrange, or when you're laying down the tracks, laying down the MIDI. You can absolutely mix. In fact, I prefer it sometimes because I want to know what it sounds like with the compressor and the reverb and everything on. I want to know what it sounds like with the EQ on. So that will give me a good benchmark to follow. Like I can take the effects off later, and I'll have to do that, right? But I mix as I go too. So it's a little haphazard, my workflow, but there's no set rules like that. But I like to do things intuitively, and that's the way.
Yeah, it's interesting you say the whole thing about the mixing while you work. Just because even for rappers and how we work, sometimes you go into a studio session and you're hearing the music. Maybe if you want to, you're hearing your vocals, but sometimes you can hear your vocals with the effects on it, so what you're laying down.
Yeah.
Or you can just hear you kind of raw and then add the effects later. And it's kind of difference. It's just really differences of opinion when it comes to it, right? Because I may not want to hear I don't want to hear the reverb because I feel like the reverb's distracting me right now while I'm trying to focus on what it is that I'm trying to say. But at the same time, it's this sounds I think this sounds good, but it's going to sound different when it's mixed. So it's I want to make sure that it sounds good in the way that it's going to end up sounding, and not how I kind of think it might end up sounding. And it's just cool how that kind of crosses over just to different from being a rapper to being a
I think there are different workflows. And in music, I don't think there are any hard and fast rules like that. You can just do however you want to do it, and the end result is all that matters. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's definitely true.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And wondering, just quickly, do you play your instruments as well? Do you play your guitar? Do you have to do that, or are you programming that in with musical typing, or how do you do all that?
I am a guitarist, but you can call me a retired guitarist because I don't practice now. So, but I used to, and I basically played hard rock, heavy metal, but I used to play blues and smooth jazz, and I used to play some. I can't shred as well, but
when you're making your electronic music, are you doing that all on a MIDI keyboard, or are you?
Yeah, no, not even on a MIDI. I do it. I don't need a MIDI keyboard. I just do it like there are keys mapped to like my computer keyboard,
Right?
And I just I cannot know where C sharp is. C sharp is my favorite note, by the way. Where it is, and
that's cool.
where it is, and it's just like I'm just laying down MIDI. Like I'm pointing and clicking with the mouse and laying down MIDI like that. Yeah, I try to include the guitar in my music too. So far, it hasn't been the case in these 4 songs that I've released, but definitely, the next ones, they're going to have some guitar because it's my favorite instrument, and we are now fortunate that we have guitar VST plugins that sound very realistic. If you know how to mix them, and if you know how to, what to add and how to EQ, and, you can get incredibly realistic sounding guitar parts and if I have a limitation that there is a part that I can't play physically, I can lay down the MIDI if there's something in my mind and it's done. Like my next song, it's going to have a guitar solo. That's like, it would be difficult for me to play it, but I'm on the computer and I can do it and I can make it like that. So
nice.
And there's a lot of samples too, drum samples, FX samples.
So who are your inspirations in music and just in life?
For the kind of music that I do now, I think it's the old school guys like Darude, Sash, Tiesto, Paul Van Dyke, Armin. These are the people. And inspiration in life. I don't know. I'm not inspired by people, so to say, but I'm inspired by ideas, I guess. This like different philosophies that kind of make your life better, I think. Which is like you have to sort of simplify life into little bits and pieces and process it like as easily as you can, and you can't get overwhelmed, you can't get burnt out, and you just have to take care of yourself, and if you take care of your body, your mind's good. If you take care of your mind, your emotions, you're stable emotionally, and that sort of carries over to different aspects of your life, whether you're trying to be creative, whether you're trying to get 100% productivity during work, like in your day job, whether it's relationships, whether it's anything, you kind of have to have that equilibrium. You can't, be stretched out to thin or be lazy, and you have to have your head in the right place, do little things, stretch out, do some breathing, just, don't be anxious, don't be stressed. There's, everything, just don't eat junk. These are the little things that I believe in practicing, and they kind of help maintain the balance of life. I think for everyone that's the case. And it's easy to get overwhelmed with our lives the way they are.
Well, if you're talking about getting overwhelmed, I think it's time that we transition to the NAS Quickfire 5. You heard of it, you know it. You're going to be asked 5 questions. You're not going to have more than 15 seconds to answer each question. Okay. Are you ready?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, let's jump into it. Question 1 is, what is your favorite song from the new Artist Spotlight playlists?
Oh, right now it's Into the Wilderness by JHN.
What's one song that always makes you want to dance?
Europe in the Summertime by Charles Connolly.
Great pick. If you could have the voice of any other artist on the planet, whose voice would you have?
John Bon Jovi.
Which band or artist, dead or alive, would you most like to go on a night out with?
Metallica.
Yeah, if it didn't get too heated. And number 5, if you could spend one day with one other NAS artist, who would you pick?
This is very hard to pick. So I'm, I don't know. I would like to meet everyone. Maybe have a huge party someday, so it's very difficult for me to choose. And I honestly can't like that, All of you are amazing,
You don't have to spare Wilko's feelings like that. It's okay.
Yeah, I think you got 4 out of 5 there, SRV. I don't think we're going to allow that last answer.
No. You got to say somebody. You got to pick.
Everyone's sat at home listening, hoping it's them. Yeah, they're all sat there crossing their fingers going, please pick me. You might as well make one of their dreams come true.
Okay, how about both of you?
No.
How about I referee a rap battle between you two?
No.
I live in where the referee thing, the black and white stripes, and I'll put a whistle and go, How about that?
No, he'd much rather have a typing contest than a rap battle with me.
Yeah. The problem is I'd be a heavyweight and Origin is probably a flyweight.
And that's crazy to say that he's scared of me and I'm supposed to be in such a lower weight class.
It's cool.
You see, you've waved the red rag at the bull now. What was that, mate?
You're gonna wave a white flag at me in a second.
No.
Yeah, I said I'd love to see you battle someday, like on YouTube or something.
I don't rap for free.
And we battle each other.
We can sell tickets, man.
You guys get a pot. We'll work something out.
Yeah. I'm in on that. My price is £1 million. I'll do it for £1 million. What about you?
Yeah, it's
10.
10
million USD. I think I'd put Wilko in a body bag.
Yeah. I think I'd probably
2 to 3 rounds for 10 million.
Origin, are you happy with 80-20 split of the pot? I'll get the 80.
No, you'll get nothing but embarrassed, and I'll take the money.
Yeah, I'd like you to send some of the money to the club I support. Can you guess which club I support?
Oh,
it's a
Fight Club.
Isn't it Chelsea?
It's Chelsea.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
We're going through a lot of stuff right now.
Hey, they're playing Newcastle right now. They're playing my team, and I'm missing it for this. See what the score is.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to wrap up now anyway. It's still 0-0. We're going to wrap up. So just tell everybody very quickly where we can find you on socials.
Sure.
Just SRV Music Maker, isn't it?
Yeah, SRV _Music Maker on Instagram, SRV Music Maker on Twitter. And I'll be coming up with some new music in the coming months. So
yeah, look forward to it, mate. All right, well, thank you very much, SRV, for joining us. It's been great to meet you, and all the best for the future. And a big thank you to everybody who's listening at home as well, everybody who's putting us on radio, all the partners, people looking out for us all. And we'll see you all next time.
New Artist Spotlight.